Greetings, wrestling fans! Here's a cool custom for your vintage WWF Hasbro wrestling superstars.
I am the World Wrestling Federation champion, yeah, and you will never be. No, you will never be, yeah.
Maybe, but you could still have the belt courtesy of Wrestling Figure Workshop. Let me give you a little history.
The history of this belt.
The first wrestling belt I ever had was the original world title that came with the LJN Hulk Hogan. It was one size fits some, and it left a lot to be desired. In the 90s, when Hasbro took over the line, they offered only one belt, and it never came with any figures, only with the WWF ring playset. And that was a real shame since wrestling figures look so much better with some gold around their waists. I've got a vintage Hasbro Ultimate Warrior figure, which I've shown in the 80s Toy Museum videos, and I've been looking for one of those old Hasbro Winged Eagle belts for years. But whenever one pops up on eBay, it's always too beat up.
I can't believe, ladies and gentlemen, what I am eyewitnessing.
And too expensive for my tastes. My dream of having a great condition Hasbro belt for cheap seemed like it would always just be that, a dream.
Biggest dreams can still come true.
Then I heard about Wrestling Figure Workshop's custom championship belts, and I got psyched.
Get psyched to the max.
Now you can put a gorgeous, glimmering, minty fresh classic Winged Eagle belt around your favorite vintage or new retro action figure for a fraction of the price of an old beat-up belt.
Oh, look at this! Hulk presented the belt and raised the hand of the Warrior!
The design is very similar to the original Hasbro Winged Eagle belt, so even though it's a new design, it still feels retro. And another retro thing about it is the quality. If you've got wrestling figures, I'm sure you've had some flimsy belts that have cracked or snapped at the part where you loop it together. You always hear the phrase, they don't build them like they used to, but these are built like they used to. This material feels very sturdy and rubbery. It holds together securely. Doesn't feel like it's going to tear from giving it a good tug. It is so awesome to finally have some gold around this Warrior's waist.
As the Warrior now holds that precious World Wrestling Federation Championship belt.
And the gold doesn't stop there. While the original Hasbro line only had the world title, Wrestling Figure Workshop has customized the Intercontinental title as well, using a classic-style design of what it would have looked like if Hasbro had released one in the 90s.
How does it feel to hold that championship belt?
Well, you know something, Mean Gene. It feels pretty darn good. Since I was just as big a fan of the IC title, or the Worker Belt as it was also known, as I was the World title.
Let me just one time give the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship belt a big kiss.
Just like the Winged Eagle belt, it has the same fastening design with ridges that catch securely for a perfect fit on any of your various sized wrestling figures.
That has become even more powerful now that this is on the line.
That looks absolutely
Perfect.
He does! He looks 1,000 times better.
Well, it must be the thing that's hanging around my waist.
And it's not just about looking good. It's about nourishment, too.
I feed my family this way.
This stylish IC belt is sure to give your figures a well-defined waist with
The fruit of victory!
Now that the classic IC title is available, Jack Tunney can sanction matches that will be
Title for title.
Can't decide which belt you want? Be like the Ultimate Warrior and take them both!
As I take two and become one.
I always thought it was a bummer that the Warrior didn't get to keep the IC title after winning the World title. But now you can be the booker and book your own double champion for as long as you want.
To challenge the Warriors to roll the Intercontinental belt with the strength of the World title.
And that's not all. Ever wish your Hasbro tag teams had
the black and gold that signify the WWF Championship Tag Team belts?
Now they can!
We hold here before you one of the most treasured prizes of the World Wrestling Federation, the Tag Team belt.
They feature the same Hasbro style of the 90s toy line, and when you put them on your favorite tag team, you know what that means.
We're standing up here with these Tag Team belts, and that means we're number one.
And you can be the booker and have teams that never got a chance to win the belts now be tag team champions.
The winners of this bout, and boom!
Don't have any classic Hasbro tag teams? You can put the belts on some tag teams from other toy lines, like some Brothers from Cybertron, or the Masters of the Universe. They look great on the Mattel WWE figures as well. You can give the Ultimate Maniacs the tag team title run they never had. These classic Hasbro style belts look great on the Mattel figures too. The Mattel belts, as well as the old Jakks belts, look a little oversized, but the Wrestling Figure Workshop belts fit a bit better and have that great retro look to them as well, while still looking beautiful as they gleam in the light.
I'm the World Wrestling Federation champion, and you're not!
Okay, thanks for the reminder, Macho. I took a crack at making a custom belt myself in the 90s when I fashioned this big gold belt for my Remco Ric Flair. But when I showed him my new custom Winged Eagle belt, he got a little misty-eyed.
With a tear in my eye! This is the greatest moment in my life.
Beautifully designed, durable, excellent paint application, and affordable.
You gotta respect these right here on our shoulders.
You definitely do. Now I know what you're thinking.
You want what we have.
Here's how you can hold the gold. You can get them directly from Wrestling Figure Workshop's eBay store at this link, which is also in the show notes below.
You want your belt all of a sudden. Is that the idea?
And you can also follow them on Instagram at Wrestling Figure Workshop or on Facebook at facebook.com/Wrestling Figure Workshop to keep up to date on other wrestling figure customs. Just remember,
You gotta be bold to wear the gold.
so if you want to hold the gold, check out Wrestling Figure Workshop. Dig it?
Ooh, yeah!